Hello and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant Podcast, episode 15. My name is Kim, and if you haven't seen me before, welcome to this episode. Today I will be giving you some life updates, talking about the projects and the yarn that I've used this month, or in June, and giving you any business updates or anything like that. So if you are interested in crocheting or sewing, then this will hopefully be the video for you. So to start off with, it has been quite a long month. You may be able to tell that I have got a bit of a cold. So last month I was ill for just under a week. I got over that for just under a week, and then I caught something else sort of over the weekend. So maybe I'm just a bit run down, but I've got quite a sore throat, a really dry cough, which I'd probably prefer, but it's just irritating. So I'm sorry that I sound a bit manly, croaky, however you want to put it, but hopefully that's not too off-putting for you. If so, maybe just watch with captions or skip to the next one, and hopefully I won't catch anything else in the meantime. So in terms of my personal life, things have been fine. As I said, I've just been a bit run down, recovering quite a bit from different illnesses. I haven't done too much in the way of planning it's my partner's as well. I haven't done too much in terms of DIYs for our big day. I have done a few things, got quite a few things ticked off the list, and this month I am going to be starting my wedding dress as well. So I don't know if I mentioned on the last video, but I have decided to make my wedding dress. Hopefully it will be more simple than I think it will, but maybe I'm a bit naive. And especially because our big day is in sort of 3-4 months, so I need to be pretty sure I will be able to do it. In terms of backup plan, that might be a bit tricky if it doesn't turn out too well, but hopefully we won't get there. I am also planning on, after our wedding, doing a video on all the little DIY bits that I did for our big day. Hopefully if you're also planning your wedding, you might find it quite inspiring. You might just find it interesting. I know that I love watching DIY videos for all different things, so it won't necessarily be a tutorial, but it will sort of showcase a lot of the DIY things that I did and you could possibly do for parties or for weddings if you or a loved one has one in the future. So let me know if that's something that you would find interesting. I think I'm going to do it regardless, because it's something that I would like to treasure. Again, I am also hoping to film the process of making my dress, and that will obviously be uploaded after we get married. So obviously my partner, my family, any friends won't see it before the big day. But I will see how that goes. And obviously if it's a very stressful process, maybe you won't see the video. I'll just show you what it looks like afterwards. So yeah, that's it really. So as I said, we've got a lot of things ticked off the list. There's a lot of DIY projects that I will have to do closer to the time, so the week of, so things involving flowers, little things like that might expire, or similar things. I might have to wait until the week before the wedding, so it'll probably be quite busy, but I know that my family and my friends are available to help if I do need it. But I'm very excited about an opportunity to DIY and to do things myself, which is what DIY stands for. Can you tell I'm a bit not with it today? But yeah. I mentioned a lot about my dress because I have got the bag for it here. So once I start making my dress, I've told my partner that he is not allowed in my room because, or in my office, because this is the best place for me to keep it. And obviously my bag is see-through, so unless I put it somewhere sort of where he can't see it, I feel as though the best sort of blanket policy is don't come into the room. Yeah, and apart from that, as I said, not too much. I've been working night shifts. I haven't had any calls for a while. I've done I wouldn't say I've done a lot of shifts, evening shifts, but I've done a fair few, and I haven't got called out for any of them, which is quite interesting. I'm also on for tonight, so I feel as though I might get a call out tonight because I've put that into the universe. If I haven't mentioned before, I work in healthcare, and I do night shifts. Sometimes I do day shifts, mostly night shifts, out of hours work. And yeah, it's been quiet, which I've just realised I said the Q word. Yeah, but no, it's been good. And in terms of business, usually I do this at the end, but I will just show you. So here are a few bags that I finished, that I've been meaning to finish for a while. So here's the Postman Pat bag. I've got the Teletubbies, and I've got, you can't see him, Noddy. And then I've got some BFG bags and some SEO Trop. I'm sorry that the camera angle is so awful, but the tripod is a bit not straight. So I'm trying to show you stuff and it's just wiggling, so I'm sorry. If you want to see it better or in more detail, they are listed on my shop, or in my shop. The link is below. The only one that isn't listed at the moment is the Postman Pat. I'm taking it to market this weekend, so it might have sold by the time you see this video. And yeah, in terms of other business things, I've also recorded, possibly released a video about my first market. So I went to a school market on Friday afternoon. It was interesting. For the first one, it was good. I didn't make a loss. I made about sort of just over £10, which was okay, maybe a little bit disappointing for what I wanted, but as I said, it was a great first experience, and I learnt quite a bit from it, and I feel much more prepared for my next one, which is this weekend. Again, I did say on the video that depending how my second market goes, if it's different, if I learn more things, then I will definitely be recording another very short video to sort of give you an update about that. I find it really interesting to watch other people's experiences, and it is part of what I've been doing with my business at the moment, which I know that I find it quite interesting to watch other people and what they do with the business. But a great deal of my effort has been going towards signing up for markets, obviously speaking to the people involved, and actually getting everything ready for it. So all of the bags, making a decision on what bags to take, other stock I've got, as well as any little baskets or display equipment as well. So it's been really exciting, and one of my big goals for this year was to hold a market, have a couple of market stalls. So yeah, that's definitely something that I've achieved so far. I've done one. I'm really looking forward to doing some over Christmas as well, because I have realised whilst I've been looking for stock for this market, I've realised how much stuff I actually have for Christmas markets. So that would be really exciting to do some in sort of November, December time as well. So yeah. Anyway, on to my crochet. So the first part of this is any works in progress. I have got one work in progress at the moment for June, and I will take a separate video of it because it is actually drying at the moment. It is it was originally the present garland that I started crocheting. So it was little boxes. I did it from a ricourumi gradient cake. So they started with, I think it was green, or was it white, that went into green, and graduated. No, it went into a gradient from cream to green to red to dark red. So I made lots of little presents, and originally when I made them I was going to string them up, put little ribbons on them, and make them look like a present garland to have up around Christmas. When I went to finish them a few videos ago, I came to the conclusion, or I felt as though they just looked better, or they could be used better if they were something else. So garlands are fine, there's nothing wrong with them, but I just felt as though it looked a bit unfinished, or it didn't look sort of the way that I wanted it to. So one idea that I had was to use the remainder of the gradient cake to make a background. Just crochet, I've double crocheted a sort of square, maybe slightly taller square, and then I'm going to have the little presents all stacked up. I've got 25 of them so that I can make an advent calendar, and that to me is a much nicer idea. That's something that I would maybe use more than a garland as just decoration. I have got quite a few advent calendars anyway, but this one I feel is going to be quite cute. So I'm just blocking it at the moment so that it can retain its shape. I'm going to start sewing on the numbers for each of the presents, then I can sew the presents onto the background. And what I'm considering at the moment, I need to have a look at how it looks, is having a fabric backing on the advent calendar, just so that it's not so see-through. I'm also considering, rather than sewing them on with the yarn, using a sewing machine, because it will be so much quicker to sew the presents on. I know I shouldn't feel like this, but I feel like I shouldn't sew them on with a machine, because it won't be proper crochet. I feel like it will be so much quicker, and I don't think that it will really change much. The only thing that it would really change is if I wanted to make a pattern with it. Obviously I would need to sew the presents on properly, so that people could see how it really looks. So that's my sort of internal debate at the moment. Should I sew it on? Should I not? Should I sew it on by hand, or should I sew it on by machine? If I'm being honest, my preference would definitely be machine. Sewing 25 presents on using crochet is not really what I would want to do, but I think that I will end up crocheting them, I said, just because if I do want to make a pattern from it, it will be so much easier to take pictures of and to market it, and to sell the pattern, I suppose. But yeah, so that's what I'm working on at the moment. That is my main work in progress, and my second whip is the sister socks, which I won't show you. Is there. I was going to show you, but I haven't done anything on them, so there would be no change from last time, or a few videos ago where you last saw them. But that's definitely something that I need to work on. So now I've finished the works in progress, my single work in progress, I can go on to my finished projects. So I actually have 3 finished projects this month, or last month, in June. So the first one I will just brush over because I have covered it in a couple of videos. So the first ones are these crochet gloves. So I bought these granny square motifs off of someone having a D-stash, and I wanted to make them into crochet gloves, and that's exactly what I did. So I just crocheted the strip at the front, and that was it really. I've been putting it off for ages for no reason whatsoever. They were actually really easy to do, so I don't know why I was putting it off, because I didn't have the right yarn. So this yarn is sort of a creamy colour, and because it was from someone having a D-stash, I didn't have exactly the same colour. I decided to just use a white acrylic. So it's the same fibre, just a different colour. So I have the cream ones, I finished these purple ones. These are 3D, so these are really cool. 2 pairs of cream, 1 pair of purple, and 3 sets of white. So that's it really. It wasn't too complicated. It was a double crochet, just joined into the loops that were left from the granny square design, double crocheted until it was as big as the granny square, and then just joined it, left a little hole for the glove, and that was it really. So those were really simple, but that's been on my whip pile for a long time, so I'm glad that it's gone now. The second whip that I finished, you may remember, so this isn't crochet, this is cross stitch. This was a kit that I got for either Christmas or my birthday. They're both in December, so I lose track sometimes. And this is just the blue tulips. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's a gorgeous design. So when I spoke to you last, I had finished quite a lot of the flowers. I don't know if I'd finished all of them. I think it was just the darker colours that I needed to do. And then I did the browns and the white background. So I would hate to tell you how many hours I spent on this. I'd hate to work it out, to be honest, but many probably sums it up. So this was a good kit to do. I really enjoyed it. It did take a long time, but it was a labour of love. I did enjoy it. Now this sits on our couch in the front room, where I try not to touch it too much because it's sort of an acrylic wool blend, so I feel as though it's going to, what's the word? I feel as though it's quite easy for it to get like rubbed up and get like the little balls. I can't remember the name of them, but to get like the little balls, you know, when you put friction on it. Yeah, I'm sure that you probably know what I mean. So yeah, I'm trying to be quite delicate with it for the moment, just so that it doesn't get any stains or it doesn't start to deteriorate or anything like that. I'm sure that it will be absolutely fine. It's just the yarn that I'm a bit more worried about rather than my handiwork, if that makes sense. So once I'd finished it, I was just waiting for the cushion back to arrive. And if you've never turned cross stitch into a pillow before, I didn't realise it would just be the back that was there. So this pillow came without a front, and I just sewed the front to the back of the pillow case, and voila, there's a pillow. I will say, for the price of it, I probably would have bought a proper pillow and just taken the front off, or just attached it to the front. I wouldn't say that it was expensive, but for half a pillow, it wasn't the cheapest. I think it was about £6, £7, £8. But you can buy a cheap pillowcase for less than that, I feel, and you'd get 2 pieces of a pillow. But yeah, so this is the finished pillowcase. Really enjoy it. It's got a zip back. So that's done. I have got some yarn from the finished pillowcase that hasn't been used. But obviously it's in strips, quite long strips, but if I were to crochet with it, I would have a lot of knots in it where I'm tying it up to make it into a ball. So I'm not quite sure what to do with that yet. So that's just sitting in a bag at the moment, waiting to be acknowledged. So yeah. And the last finished project I have is a little bit random. I made a little chicken. So he has got a hanger on him if I want to hang him up, or her. Made his little dangly legs. Originally when I made it, I made this, but it just looked a little bit weird. So my partner said to add some legs, and I'm not sure if that's improved it much. I think for me, so I did start with a pattern for the body. It turns out completely different. I don't know if I'd increased wrong or I'd misread it somewhere, but instead of being a flat circle, it turned into this sort of curved shape. So I thought, that looks relatively chicken shaped, so let's turn it into a chicken. So that's what I did. So the rest of it is sort of what I've come up with. So the little wings, red bit, can't remember its name. So that's sort of what I've come up with, and the tail feathers as well, and the little legs, just what I've sort of added to it. And then I turned it, I say, into a little chicken. I feel for me that the bit that lets it down a little bit is the beak, because the beak should be 3D. But it's a little bit difficult to make something so small and make it distinguishable so that you actually know what it is and it's not excessive. But let me know what you think. I would love your opinion on what could be better, or if it looks okay, if you can tell it's meant to be a chicken. One of the main reasons I was looking to make a chicken is because the internet, bit late to the trend, but the internet was going crazy over the emotional support chicken, and loads of people have made their own little chickens, and I wanted to make one for myself and a few family members, and see whether it would be worthwhile to make them for a market. So I started with this pattern just to see how long it would take me to make it, and see whether it would be worth sort of what I'd be selling it for the amount of time that I spent on it. Now, because I work usually in DK, it can take a little bit longer to make something that's sort of bigger. I know a lot of people use sort of plushy yarn. So I know a lot of people use sort of plushy velvet yarn, which is obviously thicker, and it makes something that's bigger, that obviously you could sell for more. I feel like people would be willing to pay a bit more for. But this took me quite a few hours, and if I go by minimum wage, which is it's over £10, it's £11, but just say for argument's sake it's £10, would anyone buy this chicken for £20? No. And it would take me a long time to get enough stock of chickens to make it worthwhile selling. So yeah, he's just a little chicken. I don't have a name for him or her yet. I feel like it's a her. I think it's definitely a her. I don't have a name for her yet, but I will do. I'm going to put her somewhere on my desk so that she can be my little support animal. And apart from that, I haven't made anything else. My planned projects for this month, I really should be finishing the sock that I started, but I feel like I'm probably going to do a bit of stash busting, because I've got lots of little bits of yarn that I would just like to get out of my stash. So there was a couple of projects that I'd planned on making that are quite small, so they won't take up a lot of time, hopefully, and they'll get rid of quite a bit of different yarns, like the scrappy yarn. So that's probably what I'm going to focus on this month, is a bit of stash busting. Yeah, and apart from that, I guess some of you may want to know how many grams I've used this month. So it would be, I've only used 122 grams of yarn this month. And the reason it's quite low is because for the cross stitch I didn't weigh any of the yarn beforehand. So that's not actually factored into the yarn that I've used. Plus it was a kit. So that is not really a lot at all. It's just over one skein. And considering I've got a lot more than that, yeah, it's really not a lot that I've used this month. But as I said, I have been quite unwell, so I haven't necessarily been sort of in the right headspace to sit and crochet. When I was ill a couple of weeks ago, I just had a banging headache and I just slept for probably 2 days. Not as straight, but I slept for 2 days and didn't really do a lot because I just felt so unwell. Now I'm starting to sort of come the other side of the second illness, but again, I haven't necessarily picked up a lot. I'm just starting to get back into the groove of crocheting and stash busting and things like that. So yeah, hopefully you are interested in seeing my 6-month destash journey. Having a bit of an update about where I am 6 months after I started destashing. I was looking on my channel actually for the beginning of my destash, and I didn't actually record a proper video about what I started off with, exactly how much I had. It wasn't a separate video. I believe that it was in with one of my podcasts, which is a bit of a shame, but I'll see if I do anything about that, whether I start maybe at the end of the year I'll put a little compilation together so that it's sort of at the start where I introduce the idea, 6-month update, and then where I am now. Maybe I can add that to a little playlist or something. But yeah, I feel like I say that a lot, but yeah. So after this video I will be recording a 6-month update. Again, if my voice keeps up, and I'm sorry that it does sound a bit scratchy. I've been waiting to record this video for a while. Well, for a while, it's the 1st of July. I have been looking forward to recording this video for a little while, but as I say, my voice just hasn't been good, so I think that I would rather get it done now than wait for a little while and maybe feel less motivated. That's what I really want to do at the moment. So yeah, and hopefully it will be out in a couple of weeks or so. And thank you for watching this video. If you have got any advice about my chicken, any name suggestions or ways that I can make it a little bit better, or if you think it looks okay, then that would be great. Please pop them below. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. And until next time, take care. If you need anything, any links are below. And bye. Have a good week.